Well, here's my new wind turbine tower. Got that one clamped there. That one clamped to the level. This one just propped, and this one just propped underneath that one. And yeah, this will do as a wind turbine. Oh, hang on, wrong channel. It's amazing if you've spent a bit of time farting around building how you get things propped up, ready to go ahead and slam other things on. But unfortunately, I've got one more of these left and a whole bunch of shit Chinese ones. I've got a couple of the second generation of these which are real good. I don't know where the hell I put them. So we might be struggling along with one more of these and a bunch of Chinese ones. But I'm going to try and put this up, which may be a little bit premature because yeah, I've got a second one out in the paddock, and I'm sort of, yeah, probably should get that and get another one ready to go from this side here across to the other one, so that I can sort of, you know, not rely on clamps and props for ages while I get everything organised. So I'll take this back down again and get more stuff from salvaged from the remains of that super dish that collapsed. This is a bit where the Madeira vine got it in the tree, and so I chopped the bastard. Pretty sure that there's an end there for a cut it, gone limp, but it's still sort of green to there, and then it's re-shot out of there and gone up again. That would have been the other end. That's, yeah, that's now dead. The bastard come straight out the side and had a second go and had a second burst of doing all this, and still a little bit of green up there, not much. But I wondered how I got that up there. It's one of the other ends over there that I cut. And on there. Anyway, I just realised something else. You can't see because the shitbox camera's got the silhouette again. It's all splintered. This shit here is cracking off and it's about to collapse. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. The trouble is, as it brings all these down, a little tube is hanging off them, little dangles. They refer to them as air tubers. They'll go bang, hit the ground, replant themselves, and just moves out further. There's the washed cat. He's happy enough now. Tails was wet until a couple of minutes ago. This is the same sod that's got the giant bloody crack in it. Shit, this bastard's going to come down one day. So I might have to formulate a plan to give that a little nip. Possibly while, I don't know, pulling it one way or the other with a rope. Actually, if I can get a rope up there. Little trick, I'll tell you. You ever have trouble getting a rope over a tree up like that? You know you do? It's easy. You get a rock like that one, especially one that's sort of like a rectangular shape, or it's got a little dip in it somewhere, so you can tie the rope around without any troubles, especially if it's got a little dip in it. And then you just throw the rock over, and if you give it a decent, you know, bit of oomph, bang, you know, the rope just follows. You got to sort of just have the rope laying on the ground, or you know, a bit of a coil in your hand, or plenty of slack in the other hand, you know, in your left hand, and throw it with your right. And yeah, I don't know if I could pull that off over to there or something like that. Pull it through there, over there, or something. But we should be alright anyway with the water line. I reckon I could just probably give it a chop and we should be right. It's pretty good stuff, the polyethylene. Like it's, yeah, 1 inch agricultural line coming from the overhead tank. It's, I didn't realise how close that was to just shitting itself, but anyway. Well, I'm out of screws, but we have got some stuff done. I've got to make up a couple of struts just to go in between here and here and so on. Yeah, here we go. As you can tell, the beam is not really, if you try and find a long one that length that's not rotten and still has a bit of life left in it, that's actually straight, and you won't find one. These shit thongs keep blowing out, and these bastards will be in the bin by the end of the night. I've had worse thongs, but I've had bloody better too. Anyway, I'm pleased about that. Really makes a difference with an extra person, you know, you get these blooming things sorted and whatnot. I've used up all my big heavy duty ones. A lot of these are flat at the end there, and then as I bring them down to here, you got a bit of an angle whole dealio. And same with the other one here. You can see. So yeah. I've got to make those struts up first. I've got plenty of leftovers sitting over there, and then I've got to salvage another 2 more of these uprights, and that'll give me both the uprights. I've already got one, so I just need 1 more upright and 1 to go along the top. And yeah, I should be travelling pretty well by that point. Pleased with how well it's done. I don't know. Yeah, I probably can put another 1 or 2 of these in by tonight if I actually make a go of it, and then I'll have most of my external framework sorted. Then tomorrow I can fiddle around with more of these. Maybe even play with these here. Kitties! You've been crazy! I'm not joking, I'm over there whacking screws in on the cross braces, and I see one of the black ones climb up a little almond tree, and I see one of the little tubby ones here, and it was hanging off the flaming downpipe or something, but basically fell off the bloody roof here backwards. Buddy, you're a bit excited, aren't you, hey? Oh, God. Flaming hell. I assumed it hit, landed on its feet. I didn't think it hit the ground, otherwise it would have hit a thump or something. But falling off a roof backwards when you're only, that big. Talk about get a bit overexcited. I was, just from the angle it was, I thought it was almost going to hit the panel, but it just fell off, I think, beside the tree there, sort of in between the end line of this bit of corrugated iron. But they get a little bit excited. Anyhow, they smell all nice now they all had a bath. And thinking about where Tabby Cat was, I was talking to my father about it when he was over here, and I reckon he just sits under the house. How's this? Climbing up chicken wire. I've had rabbits that couldn't even get out past this. And obviously that means it's a good fence, but it is chicken wire. But it's funny to see, I think Black Kitty used to do that too, stick her hands in it and climb up like that. But yeah, he seems to just appear out of random, just bang, and there he is. We've got a feeling he may actually spend most of his day under the house. And yeah, when he's been nasty to the kittens, he usually goes and runs under the house, and I think that's, he knows he's safe there, and that's, it's where he actually is most of the time, and that's why I don't see him. He's not at the neighbours at all. Because my father was out there holding on to one of those uprights at the end there, and then I'm inside for a second just getting something, I forget what it was, pencil or something like that. And next thing, the cat's in front of me, and I said, "Did you see him come down?" He'd go, "Well, no, I didn't, but I wasn't really looking either." But, he didn't walk past us up from down the paddock, sort of like past me father from down the paddock. He just sort of, bang, just appeared in the kitchen. And I think he's doing the old trick where they come out from under the house and see that there's a board there, weatherboard there, that's fell off, and they just snoop in through that, and then turn up in the veranda and straight through the front door. Yeah, you might see there's a bit of a green bit there with a bit of a window. That was all open until I closed that up initially, so now they're just going with a weatherboard fell off, but that's There's a bottom plate there that fell off basically and the weatherboard's attached to it, but yeah. You're funny, ain't you, hey? Hey? Nice and clean too. Can't do much at all. Out here with the kittens in the dying light, and I heard this hell of a noise and looked up and something coming down. It's a friggin' bat. So I have bats hanging around here sometimes, but this thing was going like a bloody rocket. Yeah, anyway, I've got that up there. That's the centre pole. I think my bit's just about stuffed for the Phillips head. These bloody screws are brand new, and I swear as they're going in there, wobbling away like that. Well, if you hold the back of the drill with your hand, you'll be fine. If you try and hold the front of the drill, it doesn't work because you're trying to keep the drill straight, and then it starts jumping out, and the next thing you know, you chewed your bloody driver out. So I've got a couple of 5/16 screws that I haven't whacked them in. I tell you what, I believe Phillips heads are designed to frickin' burn themselves out. How long does it take to burn out a Phillips head? Not very long. How long does it take to burn out a 5/16? Well, I'll put it like this. My father's got ones from 1994 that he used for building a shed in 94, and guess what? Still going. The ones I've had since, holy smoke, 2003, 2004. Here we are, 13 years later, still use the same one to put that in. And yeah, managed to get, this side's only 75mm, like 3-inch. So I managed to get a couple of these in because I ran out of the other one, they're 100mm, 4-inch. Yeah, that gives a little bit of grip into this. Yeah, unfortunately, the other side is 4-inch or 100mm. Basically, just going to go through, which is a bit of a bum. I'm going to have to get thicker screws. Bit of a pain in the arse because I can't screw this one into the centre one here. I didn't get the top part for that done. Obviously, it's just too dark. Ridiculously dark now. Not ridiculously dark, but you know, I'm using a headlamp to see what I'm doing, and I think that's about it, because I've got to go get some more mints for the kitties and everything like that from my parents' joint, and think about making myself some food and whatnot, and yeah, I think about time to just about call it a day. Alrighty. I noticed this yesterday, but I didn't bother showing you guys. Another one coming. Yeah. That one, you know, the green one beside it, shouldn't be too long. They grew around the same time. So we've got a little one there, and a little one there. It's had a split and it sort of resealed itself or something. I don't know if that's going to amount to anything. Instead of, yeah, this one's getting very tall. A couple of flowers. Also, I don't know if it's going to amount to anything. Trouble is, when you have, you know, like more than 2 in a pot, some of them are going to struggle to the point they're not really going to do much at all. This lemon-scented verbena is unbelievable. And I'm looking at this one here. It comes out and turns and goes right here. That's unbelievable. Yeah, just warm weather. They died back to nothing during the winter. So if I can keep those in this heated hothouse and continue this sort of growth, ooh, we're going to end up with nice big plants. I have read that they don't tolerate frost, but other than that, you'll be fine during the winter. And that is complete bullshit. They just, you know, I think they may have got one light frost at one point. But it'd be no more than that, you know, and they're just, these things you just about need an electric blanket around the bastards to make them survive during winter. And of course that's not going to happen. Anyway. That one sits up there. Unfortunately all these are the outer edge. A lot of them are anyway, the outer edge. And that one shows like the female edge there. Could have actually stuck that in on second thoughts, but I didn't need one that was terribly high, but I did need one that was long enough, and trim that and put that in. But that sits there alright, and you know, a couple of bloody rivets into this, and realistically I probably should slam some longer rivets through there as we get further on with the job, but I've run out of the blasted 125mm. Who are they? These ones. I've run out of them. Got these 100mm ones, but that's only working because this is 75mm, this is 3-inch. And lo and behold, turns out this is the only one except for that little piss piece over there that's been sitting on my front lawn for ages. Anyway, so I can got to put in a bit of a like a right angle bend because I've changed over to the 100mm for this. You wouldn't believe it, the depth of that was just done by eye, and it come out absolutely beautifully. It's done by guesswork. Yeah, I've this one here. Once again, you know, need 125. I'll probably get 150mm screws next time to go right through. They are not cheap. Holy cow, they're like 70 cents a frickin' screw or something. But anyway, I've got another one I'm cutting right now that is from here on through to this. Unfortunately, this is about 3/8 of an inch out, or maybe half an inch out from, you know, lower down to higher up, but that'll be nothing. We can't just trim back again with an angle grinder or something. And yeah, I've cut, this piece is for that. I've cut the other side, and I've done this side, and freaking battery went flat. And that's 2 batteries flat, you know. I've spent a fair bit of the warmer part of the day just about getting my ass sunburnt, going around picking up bits of wire, as opposed to getting on with this. And then as it cooled off, I got on with this again, and then I flattened 2 batteries. And if I had done this during the hotter part of the day, I got to flatten those 2 batteries, put them on the charge, because the sun would have still been on the panels, and then gone around and started playing around with wire in the more cooler times. Anyway, yeah, I tend to get sidetracked all the time with these bits of wire, but I tell you what, I just keep picking them up more and more, and they just keep coming, and I'm still finding those big bloody chain link things I showed you the other day, and oh gee, it just never freaking ends. But anyway, got a feeling I'm gonna, yeah, need to get another piece of sheet metal for that corner there to make it big enough. Yeah, I really, you know, I'm sort of half stalled until I get these, you know, 5-inch screws, and I'll probably end up getting 6 inches, I was saying. But yeah, I can still cut the panels out, but sort of like, yeah, pretty stalled essentially. But anyway, I don't know if I showed this before, but I got this one in, and I got my 2 cross braces in as well. So that worked out well. This is good stuff, this hardwood. I mean, you know, it's got a bit splintered and there's some of it that's rotten, but what I've used here basically isn't the rotten stuff, and I mean, I'm not joking. I've got to swing my whole weight off this friggin' thing without a problem, you know. And that's, you know, that's how you want it to be. Good, bloody strong framing, and the only thing I'll be worried about now is a friggin' hailstorm if I'm going to have a glass roof on this damn thing. But as time goes on, I might be whacking a few more between, you know, the back here and this one sort of thing, just to be able to work out what I'm doing with the glass. But I'll use some of that frame glass I've got. Probably use mostly frame glass because, I mean, it's just so much easier. But I've sort of got to work it out so that I don't end up with water pissing in or pooling up on the top or something stupid, you know. And some of the seals in these frame ones are just fucked, basically. So anyway, yeah, it's what we done today. Well, if you guys know what this is a perfect example, and it's a real one. It's not accidentally confused with the cat shit. Little white bits there. That is mouse bones. And this is just a big ball of fur. About the right size and everything. If we break this up a little bit, a stick or so, we'll find there is more mouse bones inside it. Okay. Break up easily. Yeah, like I was saying, a little bit more mouse bone. You know what this is? It's an owl fur ball. They cough these up. They have an area of their stomach where it spins around, and that's like little mousey. The only thing left is his bones and his fur, and all his flesh gets digested, and then they go and cough up these balls under the ground. And it would sort of be fitting, because I don't need some big cypress trees. So he's just sat on the tree and just gone and coughed that up. And that's one. I found another one once that I got wrong that I think was actually just a friggin' fox shit. But that one is definitely one, because it's rod colour fur and it's all full of mouse bones, which is almost guaranteed that it's an actual owl, because, well, you know, foxes would rather eat your bloody sheep than eat mice. One just blew down in the wind, Black Kitty shit herself. Hair went up on the back and the whole lot. Just put that one down there so it didn't fall off as well. Some of you may be wondering why I'm so busy building this, when I'm apparently so worried about a giant perpetual spinach patch. The fact of the matter is, I have all this stuff already, including the base from the cardboard house, the hardwood left over from the super dish. Hell, there's a massive stash of hardwood out there. There's a stash where that come from. All that, surprise, surprise, is unused. He must have been hanging onto it for years. No nails in it until I put a few in it. Well, screws and nails into it. I've got all this stuff to build this already. And you might be able to see against me bunch of a little firewood tank there, full of almond. A bit of cement sheet. I've actually got 2 sheets of cement sheet left that this was built with. It's a bit hard to see as the light's going down. There's a join there, another one there. That's 1 sheet. I've got 2 full sheets sitting inside that laundry. I have glass coming out my arse. Hang on, the wind's blowing again. I'll just stick my finger over. I have no shortage of glass. I'll just take you around to there's all this wood, a lot of which is, a fair bit of which is unused. Hasn't done well sitting under here. It all freaking drops shit on it and rots it. That's what it looks like after you move the cardboard house. Just all sort of a bit strawy. Still got a bit of glass here. This is like the one from the dehydrator. There's 2 panels of that, I think. Yep, and then I've got another door that's under there. There's a latch for the door. That's just about stuff, that one. This here, which probably, I don't think sheep would crack it, but it's probably not in the best spot. Got a whole stash near where the solar panels are, tucked inside the, what's his name? Some of you may remember that. I've got all those glass pipes as well. Very bizarre. In there I've got a bunch of glass as well. And push comes to shove, I really don't have what I need. Aside from, you may have seen the firewood stash out there, there's some great big posts, Here comes the wind again. And yeah, I'll be digging holes, whacking in some posts. I've got some steel posts they're all second hand and a little bit old on it. I don't know if I'm going to use these or not, and if I do, I might have to cut the ends off or have to pick through. It'd be nice if I could buy some, but they're about $4 each. And the fact is that I've got to stick to this deal that I made about the mortgage. And the fact is that if I'm going to do that, money's going to be tight for a while longer. So either I'll build it with shit posts, or I just hold out for a while and spend $4 a post and put in brand new posts. Then, to keep the rabbits out, I've had a lot of different ideas, but basically, corrugated iron, I've got no shortage of it. Out there where I keep all my crap. And I found I got a little bit more over there too. I don't think you see there's a lamb standing on top of the blooming wood heap eating the box thorn. But near those box thorns, a few more sheets, and I got a handful that are tucked in the back there that I was using for the dehydrator. Only a few, but I'm intending to cut those up as slits and put those down the bottom. I'll just get up near a fence here and I'll show you what I mean. See, the bloody rabbits get into all this, and we do have chicken wire, and I could probably use chicken wire and tie it all on the bottom. But that keeps the rabbits out, but then it's still got any wind. I don't really feel like... There's the wind again. Don't really feel like any wind damage. So if you use chicken wire, which the stuff we got, sort of the thicker stuff, sort of like that, they've got about a 40-metre roll of it. What I'd need to do to use it efficiently is have it sitting up about here. But in the process, I'd have to go snippety, 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 snippety for hundreds of yards. I mean, hundreds of yards. I don't think I'd have a wrist left. I might, give myself RSI trying that. And basically, that keeps the rabbits out, but then you still have the wind. So I'm just thinking of getting corrugated iron, slitting it all up with an angle grinder, and I've got a few angle grinder discs left, and just basically going and getting some channel, which I've probably got some laying around anyway, and making brackets that will attach to something like this with a rivet or a little nut and bolt, and then be able to rivet the corrugated iron to those brackets as wind protection on at least two sides. So the wind comes in from this way. I want to do it, it's like a triangle, that side, and the back I might just do straight chicken wire and not worry about it. Yeah, of course, in all that I can't have a sort of distance of 5 metres between. I'm going to have the post a lot closer. Or failing that, little short stubby bastards that only go up to about here. And the fact is that it may be better to use those old posts to make the short stubby ones that I can attach the corrugated iron onto, and use new posts for the proper ones holding the fence. We will see, but I'm a bit sketchy as to. And then the other thing is, I've got to buy some more wire. I don't have any more wire at the moment, so I've got to go and buy a bunch of that. By the time I buy a bunch of posts, and particularly the bloody wire, it's going to be a later project rather than I am 100% sure I have all the stuff ready to go and it's right here project, which is exactly what you're looking at with that heated hothouse. In fact, I've even got the stuff to go ahead and make all the insulate the floor, even some spare insulation to insulate the insides a little bit more if need be. Cement sheet, as I was saying, which tends to be pretty good against hot stuff. Sheet metal for shielding heat, and enough old car propane tanks to be able to build a wood heater and a secondary big tank on the top to hold a bunch of rocks for the thermal mass. Anything I'm probably missing out on is a freaking Peltier device, and shit, I've even got some flue lifts. So I've got most of everything. But yeah, it's still a little bit sketchy with the other one, and I'll have to I've got to sort of make a decision as to exactly how big I want this thing, because I don't want to sort of make it so ridiculously big I'd never be able to handle it all, sort of thing. And they waste a heap of money making something that's so big it's just about out of control size-wise. It'd be nice to make a big one, you know, but at the same token, we've got to be realistic. And, you know, not grow that much stuff that we don't have the capacity to get rid of it or dehydrate it reasonably quick, or, you know, and just sort of just get out of control with it all, you know, because it's just too much. In the winter, if I have enough of a dehydrating capacity, it might not be that much of a problem, especially if it's, you know, a lot of the time I don't think it's something that you really need a real specific harvest date, so it might sort of be all right. As for summer, that's another thing, $1,500 worth of IBCs I've got to get my hands on. You know, I'm sort of back to only doing the amount that I can realistically water, and I'll probably end up watering it by hand as opposed to by firefighter, because you'll be going through the stuff pretty quick in the process. I might be, but, you know, we sort of I'll then have to rig up a sprayer system and some, yeah, that's a bloody lot of pipe, and there goes a bloody lot more money, and pipe, you know, yeah, you know, it's there's another expense there, right there, off you go again, sort of thing. And while some of the half-inch stuff is, you know, cheap, I don't think you're going to water bloody half an acre with a friggin' half-inch hose, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be going like hell and just about blow the bits on one end and not enough on the other. And in case you didn't realise, 2 half-inch hoses don't equal 1-inch hose. You need about 4 half-inch hoses, or maybe 5, you know, probably technically nearly 6 to equal the equivalent diameter. It's not like a square, you know. So anyway, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing at the moment as I'm doing it.